Episode 2, US Against the World, the PCC World Shoot. Again, my name is Hunter Constantine. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I appreciate your support. And the best way to support this channel and projects like this is to pick up a Constantine carry belt at hunterconstantine.com. Without your support, we wouldn't be able to put on programs like this and bring you this special content. You saw where the journey started, but it's about to get a lot hotter. Our next stop is Phoenix, Arizona.
And the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind. When I think of you sometime, I want to spend some time with you. Just the two of us.
No, I like, that's good, but this is good because this makes you move between the positions a little more, which will be good.
Okay.
Like crossover steps are pretty self-explanatory, especially for like the football.
My name's AJ Anthony. I shoot for Terran Tactical Industries, among a lot of other smaller sponsors that I'm super thankful for. I'm from Arizona, born and raised, lived here my whole life, and I'm shooting in mini rifle open division this year in World Shoot.
Good. He's helped me a lot. Like, he helped me with the Rifle World Shoot is where we started. Yeah. I actually reached out to AJ before we were dating to get training from him. Jack, stop licking your pecker, bro. My name is Lynda Turnbull. I'm a pro shooter for Terran Tactical Innovations. I'm from Billings, Montana, and I'm on the PCC ladies team. I've started, like, my goal to go to the PCC World Shoot started 5 years ago at Nationals. So they started putting on Nationals, and that's what qualified you to go. And I've placed top 3 at all Nationals, so that's how I qualified to get here.
I didn't tell you, I figured I'd just tell you when you got here. We started talking, we knew of each other and were hanging out for a little bit before that.
Yeah.
She'd be at local pistol matches that we were both shooting. But we really started talking and hanging out before Rifle World Shoot because we both knew we were going and we were training. There was a small period where actually our first hangout was talking about Terran, just because I had gotten an offer and I knew she was a shooter for Terran. So I figured I'd just go to someone who's been working with them for a long time to ask her opinion and stuff. So that was actually one of the first times we actually hung out one-on-one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough to make you move your hips. So it's like you're still like parallel. But
oh my god.
What?
Eddie's spring is broke too.
Oh, there's no way. Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I'm just gonna try to stack it and see what happens.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, we don't.
This is the second bolt. Yeah, two firing pin springs have broke.
In the last today.
Just today.
Double feed or what?
Yeah.
Next time that happens, don't clear it.
Okay. That's really getting me down.
It's enough time to figure that out. Assuming it's not the gun.
Well, I have 1,000 rounds to test.
Yeah. We'll just get the new mags and new ammo and we'll be good. Alright. Are you ready? Stand by. Oh, okay, hold on. That's a wild one. This could be the mag, actually.
Because that's the spare bolt, and both bolts are doing it.
Mag. I'm thinking mag. Because if this round...
I have new mags.
Okay. Yeah, switch to those.
Okay.
See if that's... One other thing too, you're still, and I don't know if this is our hip thing that we talked about where we're just different, but you're still kind of coming into position and then like swinging around.
Okay.
And it's taking you, you have to like spend more time getting steady, and it's like, you can't get as wide when you do that because it's like, you play it.
I've kind of taken the approach of it's just another match, and my performance that I'm putting forward is only going to be what it's going to be, and I can't force anything better. There's certain situations where, as the case presents itself, you can push a little harder to try to gain an edge, or you'll make a decision that's a little riskier that you might not have made if you're a little behind or ahead, depending on what you need to do. But for the most part, 95% of the time, I think I just try to shoot what I know I'm going to shoot and let the chips fall, kind of as they say. All the training that I did before that is the work, and this is just the result of the work. So I think there's a lot of people. You're probably the opposite of me a little bit, because you get super amped up and you get super into it. And there's a lot of people that can let it fuel them, but I've found it works better for me if I just kind of, I guess, stay stoic, I guess, is probably the best word for it throughout the whole match, and let other people catch highs or catch lows, and I'll just stay stoic and see how it rides, and it's usually played pretty well for me. But what would you say about yours?
I would say like I like to think like I'm competing against myself, you know, so it's just like how I want to perform. Like I'm just competing against myself, so I don't really try to think too much about it. Although I do want to perform well, and like I like the feeling of being amped up. Like, you know, I like listening to metal music right before I shoot, and just like to, you know, get those endorphins and like just feeling like ready to go. You know, like I like to go work out before I shoot and get a good pump in, and just like have the energy to do it, and just kind of be excited about it. You know, because if I'm not having fun, then like there's no point. So as long as I'm having fun, like I really do not care like what's gonna happen.
That's a big one I agree on, is that I think people take it way too seriously most of the time. I don't know who the third would be, honestly.
Honestly, like the first person who came to my mind was Scott Green, just because he is so consistent.
Yeah, I think Scott.
And it's a 30-stage match.
With how many world shoots Scott has also shot.
And how many world shoots.
Yeah.
He's flown across country. He's shot world shoots before, and he's accurate. So
yeah, and he's done very good at rifle world shoots. He's done very good at shotgun world shoots.
Yeah.
So knowing that he's putting the
won
work
shotgun world shoots.
Yeah, I think Max and Pavel for sure.
Max and Pavel.
I don't know Pavel. I haven't seen him shoot enough to know. I mean, I'm just gonna say Max. But
I think Pavel.
Okay.
Max.
Actually, I think Pavel. My gut is telling me Pavel only because this is an IPSC match. This isn't a USPSA match, and Pavel's going to have a lot more experience in IPSC explicitly, and they are the same technically, but there's a few more skill sets that IPSC I think forces you to have that USPSA is kind of more hosey, and IPSC is a little bit more accuracy focused with some of the target presentations. So my gut is telling me Pavel, even though I want to say Max.
My name is Justin Thompson. I'm shooting out of Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada, and I'm here in beautiful Wickenburg taking some training with the GOAT, the one and only Max Leograndis. So I'll be participating at the World Shoot in the Czech Republic for Team Canada. I hold the number 2 spot. There's 4 of us going on the team, and we hope to crush it. Yeah, the training has been awesome. It's going to be crucial to our success at the World Shoot. We're doing a lot of stuff that is mimicking what we'll see in Europe. So yeah, no, this is so valuable. This whole experience has been surreal for me, to be honest. I've been following Max for 6-7 years on all the socials, watching his videos, picking up little things here and there, and to come and meet him in person and to learn from him has been invaluable. Like it's amazing. Back in December of this year, of 2024, all of our competition PCCs got banned.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced Friday an immediate ban on assault-style firearms nationwide.
We are banning 1,500 models and variants of these firearms.
One of the reasons why I'm here is to train, because right now back home, I can't train with the guns that we would have been bringing to the Czech Republic for Worlds. So yeah, we can't train, they can't leave the house. There's a little 22 I can use, but it's not the same thing.
They're not seizing them, but they're locked in our safe. So the best I can do is dry fire at home.
Stand by.
Most of the things he said, you as a maybe advanced shooter, you already know, but you come here to the class and you hear one or two things that is new for you. It's already worth coming here, because these 1-2 things can change your whole shooting technique wise. So even though you get a little bit of something, it's good enough for you to evolve as a shooter.
Back in Maryland, there aren't a lot of opportunities and chances to be able to practice such long-range targets and stuff. My name is Tammy Lee. I'm from Maryland, around the DMV area. I'm part of the USA's juniors team. My main big goal is to not get DQ'd. That would be pretty devastating. My next main goal is to mainly just try and get the most experience I can out of it. I feel like it would be a bit too much pressure on me if I keep thinking about getting first place or whatever.
It's our third time coming here in Arizona in 2 months. So Max was really nice, to help out, the fellow competitors, hosting a match, World Shoot practice match, and then 2 of the classes that we attended. Tammy's been nailing it so far, far as how she shoots. So World Shoot is more towards the a farther distance, more precise shooting. Other than where we're from is more like a hoser stage, a lot of hoser stage. So Tammy's been picking up really nicely, and then she's been nailing the small steel play, 6-inch, 8-inch swingers and stuff like that. So it's great.
These 3 classes that I've done out here at Wickenburg. Oh, Wickenburg, by the way, has been awesome, super supportive to work with. Worked with me on the PCC practice match, where I tried to set it up like everything we were going to see with IPSC, and they've been really great about hosting Team USA out here. So big thanks and shout out to Wickenburg Sportsman's Club.
What are we out? 3 weeks? Less than 3 weeks out from the match or something? Yeah. So about 3 weeks out. This isn't the time where you're going to make big fundamental subconscious changes to your shooting style. So lean into what you already have built up and just execute what makes sense for you guys.
Now, this is the first PCC World Shoot, so I don't know exactly what we're going to expect, but I've been tracking the matches that are going on there and the same kind of stage designers and same matches that are going on at these ranges. So I have a pretty good idea. I'm trying to prepare everyone for the hardest stuff that we're going to encounter, so there's no surprises. And hopefully if they have, the Canadians who are out here now, unfortunately, don't have access to the firearms anymore back at home, so they're just going to have to dry fire the hell out of it at home. But yeah, so I'm not really doing anything particularly different for my prep for Worlds. The only thing different is kind of the style of stage and difficulty of targets that I am practicing, but I'm not adding a ton of dry fire work at home. I'm not coming out here every single day of the week, but I am doing the very hard skills that I know are going to be tested out there, and making damn sure that I'm very comfortable with the Mean Arms Maul and the specific tune that I have on it with the ammo that Super Vel's made for us for World Shoot. So I feel like I'm going to be very ready when I get there. But yeah, definitely balancing the prep with PCSL, because this year PCSL is growing a ton. The nationals that we announced for December, our 2-gun nationals, filled up almost instantly. Like within 2 weeks, we had almost 400 people signed up with the wait list starting. So running that, the PCSL major match side and the PCSL organization and infrastructure and background are like two separate businesses almost. I mean, I don't have a big team of people working with me. We're a pretty tight-knit group. And just sponsorship coordinating for one of these events can be a full-time job for that little period until you get it done. So it's really tough to balance everything. That's the main thing I'm struggling with now. And I don't know, I feel like the last month or so, everything's just been hitting pretty well. It's a ton of work, but I'm pretty comfortable balancing between the two, so I feel good. I feel like I'm just starting on the curve of like getting really comfortable with the setup that I'm going to be running. So 3 classes, mostly the students have got the reps, but I've definitely got a lot of experience running little medium, short, long courses in IPSC style, you know, with the colors of the targets correct, with the steel swingers that we're going to be shooting, with the engagements, or with the paper swinger engagements that we're likely going to be seeing. Practicing shooting difficult shots like small steel targets offhand, which is not really something that we see integrated into USPSA much. So yeah, I feel like over the last month or so, I've just been starting to get rolling. I got a few major matches coming up, heading out to Georgia for the Georgia Peach, and then Minnesota for Tampo Timmy's Northwoods Showdown. And then we're going to do a marathon Dragons Cup all day Thursday. Do that in one day, drive back, and then literally flying out to Czech Republic the next day. So I really wanted to fit Dragons Cup in because that's one of my favorite matches of the year. So with those events and then the little bit of practice time I have left, I think I'll be pretty dialed in as much as I can be by the time we go over there.
You ain't nothing but a dog player, I get it. Fraud player, I get it.
I think it's kind of anyone's bag because we don't know what the stage is going to look like, but it's going to come down to it, like to the wire there. It's going to be really close, I'd say.
Player getting violated, running that whole whip. 2 fingers up, 1 down with my toes 10. Flued out my boobs, I'll put a cork in it. Love it when you be crying out when I'm corseted. I don't think you gon' make it. Do not let me start raging. I'm losing my patience. This ain't staying in Vegas. There's more sides to the story. I'ma tell everybody.
Hey everybody, my name is Marco Cabahug. I'm shooting for the U.S. delegation for the PCC World Shoot this 2025 out in Czech. I think they wanted to stand, like, start erect too sometimes for IPSC, so let's might as well practice that right now. Let's see what that is. Whew. Got a little soft on the shoulder, but 452. Let's try that again. Should have enough. Yep. Let's go load. But I just love traveling, especially Asia and like Aruba. I think I've won Aruba 4 times in a row now. So for PCC, I love that freaking place. So it's easy to travel to. A lot of people don't realize it's actually a lot, it's not as expensive to travel as most people think. Especially out like to Aruba, that whole trip is probably like, for me, $2,000 with the ammo, the match fees, everything. And it's like it's a nice island, great food, the people are super friendly. Oh man, but I love that place. Bali, Phoebe runs a great match down there. Her family, excellent match. It's crazy with the sponsors they get. Like here in the US, it's hard to get sponsors sometimes for most of these major matches. There they have like, I think KFC was one of the sponsors. They had like 3 alcoholic beverages sponsors, so it's free beer on the range, which is kind of interesting. You don't see that in the US. Not that I drink, but kind of cool to see. Started shooting like, actually this range, Bowler Rifle Pistol, was like, they had an outlaw 3-gun match back in the day. And that's always kind of where I started. And didn't know anything about USPSA yet until I heard about it from some other friends. And then started shooting those. And I'm like, oh, this is a lot better. The more structured match, a lot funner. There's actually divisions and stuff that makes more sense versus outlaw match. And then later in that couple years, I actually met JJ because like my dad and his dad used to hang out in Philippines. They used to play basketball together. So JJ's dad is huge, and JJ is a very tall Filipino, if you ever see that guy. One of the freakish ones. It's hilarious. But I met JJ, started working for him for Magnus, so that's how I met the Magnus crew, so the Magnus gang. And that's where they really got into it. I'm like, oh, they're pretty good at this, I can keep going. Kept winning a bunch of matches, and Super Vel is actually my first sponsor ever, which I appreciate. I still shoot for them till this day. Love the company, they're like family. So let's just get some more shooting in, see how this goes. Let's go see these targets real quick. I notice I'm over swinging to the left a little bit, and I'm not really on the gun. Like I said, like this gun shoots so soft, I'm not really being on the gun, so I'm just trying to get tuned in with it right now. I can really tighten these up. This is sad right now. Like this is bad. I haven't been training that much, to be honest. You've been more working on the back end of the industry because I work for QVO, Quick Violent Over the Holsters. So we make that like all day. Just been working really hard. Been running events. Literally got back from Kalash Bash maybe, was it 2 weeks ago? Week and a half ago. Just a lot of travel. It's wearing me out. And I haven't worked out as usual. I usually work out 3 to 4 times a week. Lately, it's been like once a week this past 3 months. It's been terrible. And then just trying to get connected to this before the match right now. So mainly today, just trying to get dialed in with the gun and the way it impulses. I noticed with the meat arms, it's super soft. It's like cheating, so it's like a BB gun. So I'm not like, usually with my blowback gun, I'm a lot more harder on it with the shoulder and then really engage into it. I notice I get lazy with this gun, which is kind of a bad thing. The gun shoots so well, you get lazy on it. So I just got to be mentally and physically in tune with it, especially the way it fires. So just trying to get dialed in before the World Shoot. So I've been shooting since I was a kid. Basically, we're raised into my family to shoot as like younger children. So I didn't really get serious till I was like 18 though, until I could buy my own gun. My dad actually bought me a Kimber 1911 as a Filipino. So single stack 45 is like the thing back in the day. Now it's kind of a dead division, but been shooting ever since. Didn't really get serious till I was about maybe 25, 27-ish. That's kind of when I met JJ Rikaza and then like them shot more USPSA matches, stuff like that. You kind of got to play to your strengths. Lucky for me, I know Kyle did the same thing. We both played paintball growing up from like middle school to high school. So we played paintball, and it was like, you got to shoot the move, or else shoot the other team, they're going to shoot you. So it was like shoot on the move, shoot this, shoot that. So builds that immediate, like really good indexing for the gun and how to learn how to shoot on the move, stuff like that. It's mainly just, you got to do it. That is what it is with shooting on the move. You just got to do it. Actually a weird balance over the years. We notice when you care too much, you do terrible. So you got to care just enough not to care, but like just in the middle ground. So kind of have fun, but care enough to be serious. But if you think about it, stage will only last usually 30 seconds. You just got to be engaged for that 30 seconds, mentally and physically. So highly concentrated for that 30 seconds. Low development wise, there was a lot going into it. Honestly, Max and Zach and Mike, them did most of the hard work of it. There was no hollow points allowed in Europe, so that's kind of interesting. So they had to find a bullet that was super accurate. I can't remember the manufacturer that they used, but no hollow points allowed. They had to find another one, so use that. It's brand new casings for the new reman. So there's reman and new. Of course, we're all going to use new for the match. But Max and Zach are super nerds with it, so they went super autism with it and like accuracy tested it. They kind of had a generalized low development already, so they kind of had a good start because they're super into that stuff, which I'm glad about because I'm not. So they kind of handled that end of it, and then Mike and them made sure it was supplied, and then everything was good to go. The downside was we couldn't get it shipped there because all the, I guess, the shipping drama. It's really hard to get ammo shipped over there that way by a pallet.
It's probably one of the most irking, frustrating, stressful parts of this entire process. It actually is. It tainted a lot of it due to the nightmare that we went through trying to get a pallet over there. So one of our goals with this project on the logistical side was to be able to provide a pallet over to the Czech Republic, so that way the shooters could just show up and have the ammunition there ready to compete. When you're going to shoot a world shoot, most of these shooters are going to want to take 1,000, 1,500 rounds, which is over 11 pounds. So one of my goals when we started this project was to be able to have that pallet delivered there for them so they could just show up and shoot. And a lot of the roadblocks we hit came with Trump announcement of all the tariffs. We got close. I think I dealt with like 10 different brokers. We worked with Mean, the ownership there. They were also trying. We were all collectively trying to make this happen, and we just kept hitting roadblock after roadblock. that was probably the most frustrating process of this entire thing and the most stressful process, because I feel personally, just like I do with my customers, I don't want to let them down, and I didn't want to let the shooters down, and I feel like we really did, but it's not from a lack of trying on my part. We really all did what we could. We had contacts over in the Czech, and we worked as many angles as we could to try to make this happen, but unfortunately it just wasn't able to get done. And I think I spent like 5 months on it trying to make it go through, and it just didn't work out. And sometimes that's the way things go. We still were able to continue to provide the shooters with their ammo. If I had to pick, if I were to go and place a bet on the top placement of the shooters, it's a challenging one because most of these guys are my friends and I don't want to offend any of them, but based on track record and what I can look at and what I can see, I give favorite obviously to Max. You know, where the cards stack, I would say after Max, 2 through 8 is going to be within a few percent or points of each other. I really like, you know, the performance. I've been tracking a lot with Tom Castro. I think he's made drastic strides. Zach Smith always can come and shake things up and perform at a high level. Same thing with Marco. Where these guys land up, the challenge is going to be 2 through 5. I think it's any of their race, and any of them honestly could take over position number 1. You know, there's a lot of variables that go into shooting. This guy Pavel, whoever he is, wherever he's from, I know that he's one of the top things, and he may be a potential threat. And that's the cool thing about a world shoot, is we don't know. You know, we're over here in America. We may not be watching him shoot. He's shooting probably predominantly IPSC, which this match is probably going to be more his style. But he's got a lot to reckon with, because aside from him, Team USA is about the strongest. What I do know is when everything settles, I hope Team USA takes up the vast majority, 70% of, we'll say, the top 10, which I think they will. You know, we got Justine Williams in there. We've got Lena. We've got a lot of top female shooters. Lynda Turnbull. We should dominate men, women. We should dominate the senior division. All I know at the end of the day is we'll be proud to know that Super Vel took a big part in it. That Super Vel will be spread all out through the podium, and that we made a difference and were able to help the shooters to get them ammunition that performed and was not a hindrance, was an asset in their dominant performance as a country. You know, when I came into the company, I didn't go spend thousands and thousands of dollars on marketing. I didn't hire all these engineers. All the load development of this company is done in-house by myself, with my partner, or with our employees, with our shooters. All of our marketing is done by my wife. You know, our social media, all of our sponsorship, everything that we do is done with in-house, you know, family-run business. And the cool thing about Mean Arms is they went a very similar path, and they've really blown up on the scene. And the reason is they're putting out a quality product, but they're standing behind their product. And to get to the top of their company is a very short path. It's not corporate. You can go from one person and talk, and then directly be in contact with the owner, and most likely that owner is also the one that's doing the development and is putting the pride and passion into, you know, the development of that firearm. And they gave back to the shooters, and they communicate with the shooters, and they listen to what the shooters want to hear. With a lot of these gun builders and big gun companies in the United States, that's where the disconnect happens. So staying close to the shooting community, hearing them out, you know, bringing in some of the top shooters, Zach Smith, Max Leograndis, they're within the development. A lot of the other shooters, listening to their feedback, the exact same thing that we've done in the development of our brand, employing them to make changes, giving them, you know, the ability to switch things up on the fly to make the most perfect product. If you can appease Max and Zach and some of these guys that are very high level performers, everyone else in the marketplace pretty much listens and falls in line. Now, with that, it takes a lot of effort. It can cause a lot of stress. It would be much easier just to bankroll and say, this is what it is. But as businesses, we don't settle for that. We only settle for winning. And the best way to win and do the best is to directly work with the winners. And that's what Mean has done, is they've directly worked with the top shooters. They focused on providing the firearms first to the Team USA shooters. If you look at those guns, their names are engraved on the side of those guns. Each one of those PCCs, the Mean Mall, was specifically designed and built for each one of those shooters. I can't be biased on this because I have no stake in any of the companies, but the way that Mean has handled it over the past 6 months for the introduction and the way they've done their customer service and communicated with the shooters, they're going to be on the top very quickly. And there's a reason that all the best shooters in the world are all switching I mean, because it is a better product, but it was purpose built and developed for the shooter, by the shooters. That's the slogan, for the shooter, by the shooter. That's the way Super Vel was built, and that's the way they're building that gun, and that's why it's performing and everyone's switching to it.
After 2 to 3 years of developing that system, we had so many failures. The day that I was shooting it, and I walked in and talked to my brother and told him I would protect my family with this now.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Pavel Ženčar.